You're locked into the vault with Dante Myles on Fire 716 Radio. Let's go.
Let's get it. Listen, this is your boy Donta Myles, aka D Belly, aka your city councilman, aka Tank. Listen, we are here. I'm here with the boss man, Mr. Frank. Come on, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we are here. Listen, today is a real casual day for me. I've been pretty much working. Had a lot going on with the insurance agency today, handling some of my service work and getting business stuff taken care of. With that being the case, I was pushing that. I was pushing that thing all the way to the end, man. So that's why I went on a little early on the way to the vault, so you guys can kind of like get in, so y'all ain't coming in like at last minute asking a whole bunch of questions that may have been answered. So today is kind of like an open forum. I think I like to talk about the vault, and I like to talk about handly holding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this space right here, we got to get. I want to try to put as much light on it as possible, like all of the qualities of it, man. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna turn it to the boss man and let him tell you a few of the things that we have going on here and the things that could possibly take place soon.
All right, so what we have here at Hanley Holding, which is really now called Hanley Holding Studio.
Come on.
We're getting ready. We have the radio station Fire 716 Radio, but we also are a creative space.
Mm-hmm.
We're designed here for content creators, videographers, photographers, and event planners. I'm literally right now, if you walk in, you will see it, working on creating a creative studio where there's different stage themes, and people can come in and take selfies, take pictures, do videos, as well as we have the event space. You can book it. It's about 800 square feet, wraps around the radio station. When I tell you that the goal is to be the hub of information, the hub of conversation, the hub of technology, that's what we're looking to do here at Hanley Holding. So if you are a photographer or an event planner or a content creator and you need a location to really handle some of your business, reach out to me. We can talk numbers and make that thing happen and really come alive for you. So that's what we're doing here.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Listen, very, very proud to be a part of, you know what I mean? And, I think one of the main things is that it's a space where the community is engaged, and a space where it's inclusive to the community. So yeah, here at Fire 716 Radio, like I said, if y'all go to the app. So if you have a Droid like I do, you go to Play Store. If you have, iPhone like some of y'all complicated other people, then you go ahead and you go to your apps. Your app store, download Fire 716 Radio, and show love to the.
And if you want to do a podcast,
come on now.
You've been asking, I want to do a podcast, but where do I start? Reach out to us. We can have that conversation. We can set that up for you. We have a platform on YouTube and on Facebook, also on the Fire 716 Radio app, but we can definitely get you recorded, get you some content, and then we can show you how to do some marketing techniques as well to get your brand out there, your message out there, or you can hire us to do that as well. We do voiceovers, we do commercials. It's really a full force here in the city of Niagara Falls. I know that it may not be articulated often, but a lot of people use the space for their creativity, and we're going to hone that, and we're hollowing that out. And you want to do a podcast, holler at me.
Come
you
through.
Need a video for your business, holla at me. You need some editing as a voiceover, holla at me. 716-371-1903. That's 716-371-1903. I'll say this all the time. Niagara Falls is behind in the marketing aspect of technology. And we got to catch up. And I'm here to help y'all run.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. This man here, but listen, he learned how he started from scratch, and he's the definition of show and prove. He's definitely, like, at the end of the day, you walk in the door. Like, I remember there was a time that there was not a wall here. This was very open. And now this young man has created the whole space enclosed, very looking very good and very dapper up in here. you see these funky pictures behind me too. I know some of y'all been asking and looking. Listen, these are so. So yeah, that's the for me. I definitely want to kind of like highlight some certain things because one thing that didn't happen in our youth a lot of that we and this is not like in our community, it's not our first time owning things and having things that belong to us. Just a lot of times in our youth that wasn't highlighted enough to the point where like, hey, this grocery store, this is owned by someone that looks like you.
No, for sure.
This is, Miss King. Now I'm from the north end of in my youth, and that was, late. I was born in the late 70s, and so for those of you who are on here, what's going on, Ra? I know my good brother. But we had, we had Miss Kings, we had Mr. Hills, we had Mr. Brown, we had Miss Packer, the young people's Lord and Savior, because she had the penny candy.
Yeah.
So we hit her up before we got on the bus. And Mom, I didn't tell you that, of course. So I know you're on here watching. We had a lot of people. We had the Shoe Shines. We had, our community center, our beloved community center, which is no longer, and y'all know I talk about that every now and again. But we had Mr. Shealy's, and since I'm talking about Mr. Shealy's, there at one point was called Sankey's Steakhouse. A lot of y'all didn't even know about that. Let me just shed some light to the situation here. My mom had the steakhouse, right? It was called Sankey's Steakhouse. When I tell you she had a line, was that on Friday, Ma? I don't know. You can go ahead and let me know. I think it was on Friday nights or something. Man, the Saints would wrap that line going out of the store down Center Avenue, waiting for Mom to stay. And she used to have she used to do peach cobbler, and all that other good stuff.
Okay, Mother, Sunday is coming. Okay, Sunday is. If you ever feel like sauteing the thing, Sunday will be here before you know it. You know that.
Come through. Listen, it was a good situation, man. So we but those were things back in the day that and there was such a hustle and bustle, of course, back in the day. But I think now that we like sit back and think about it, it's like now it's time for us to be able to kind of like highlight and shine a light on these businesses that are and these ventures that are opening up, and that's what I'm saying, that's servicing our community. So this is very much so because I want to get past soul food dinners on Sunday. I remember that too. See, yeah, go ahead, Mama. Go ahead. So so we had so definitely want to highlight what we're doing here. It's a lot of good things that's going on in the city of Niagara Falls. We just want to make sure that, again, and for those of you who know about the good things that may not have been highlighted, Fire 716 Radio, go there, download the app, be engaged, talk to them, say, hey, I have ABC going on. Hey, is there a time? Because I'm sure out of all of the shows that's going on, we'll be more than happy. What's going on, Cena, Sharifa, all y'all? How y'all doing? Scott?
Because I think that
Kelly?
one of the reasons why the business is evolving, not just the radio itself, but really the podcast and the element, because like I said, when it comes down to our business, for example, I haven't talked to him yet, but there's a nail shop that just reopened that's Black owned.
Right.
Wow. Outside of word of mouth and visually, what do we know about you?
Right.
Like where's the video that shows the nails being completed before and after?
Right.
Where's this content and commercial? And where's the promotion of that?
Right.
Unfortunately, I just seen that Brody's is down. I didn't know that Brody's down. I haven't seen the thing in the door. And we get it, life happens, but it's like, okay, now who's next?
Yeah.
Who's next? And what can we do to make sure that the promotion side of that is efficient? And that's something that I want to get into Let me rephrase that I'm into.
Right.
Far as promoting and getting you TikTok content and creating situations and scenarios. Like one thing I want to do, y'all still it if y'all want to, but I said it here first at 5:11.
That's right.
On this day,
on the 29th of September,
of doing just a content of just trying out food in Niagara Falls.
Come on,
but really trying them out, giving them some reviews, and let that be what it is.
Right.
From the falls all the way up. Why not?
Right.
Because when you get here, people want to know, where do I go eat?
Right.
And there we have used that water as an advantage.
Right.
Which is something that's on the conversation.
Come on now.
That we don't do in the city that they do in Buffalo. Buffalo, they mad at me right now. There's smoke in my mouth. Mm-hmm. Y'all use our name.
Right.
Y'all using Niagara as if it's the source, but y'all not. I'm not seeing y'all present.
Right.
But even that plays a role in technology. Like, what do you do? What is your business, and how are you promoting it?
Right.
How are you marketing it? What are you setting aside for to succeed and excel?
Right.
Are you now? There's one issue where the tourists aren't attracted to us. But my question is, if they never came to the city and they showed up, what have they seen while at home about your business?
Right.
And Hanley Holdings is that's what we're going for. That's what we're going.
That's the hub. Like, listen, he said that, and I'm gonna wipe this video because I don't like the screen real quick because I want to make. Come on, Saints. Oh, come on. So this is what happens when you get fat finger production going on. So we're still rolling. Mm-hmm. All right, and we're back. I'm sorry, guys. So of course they'll come back. So yeah, that's what happens. We have to be, as for us to be such a small city.
Yes.
There's no reason why. Call it what it is. Word of mouth is flaming.
Yes.
When it's negative.
Oh, for sure.
When word of mouth is somebody about to throw the hands. Word of mouth is flamer. Somebody about to, somebody get shot. Somebody see a whole bunch of ambulance fire. Yeah. Something that. Word of mouth. Thank you guys for popping back on. I appreciate that. The love. Word of mouth is huge. Like, whenever something, like if there's some gossip, something just like negative and just funky,
we're there.
We just for it, just there for it.
There, we share it, we promote it, we push it. We even drive up to it.
Right. Get dressed and drive up to it.
Listen to me. I won't call them out because I love y'all so very much. But recent video of somebody, you don't even live where this is. So how did you watch this? I mean, watch the steps.
Come on.
How did you watch this on Facebook? Then got the audacity to leave your house, get in the car, drive around the corner to show up to a scene because it's negative.
Ridiculous.
I'm just perplexed. But the moment that somebody comes with you about a business idea or a plan they're doing or promoting, you about as quiet as a church mouse.
Church mouse, peeing on cotton. I always say that.
And it's like, we're for real. And I get media, I get the psychological side of it, but like for real, we're only but so big.
Right.
And I was asking the question, I'm perplexed how the positive things that we do on the east side, we don't know about it on the west side.
On the west side.
But soon as somebody gets shots, y'all spread that news on that police scanner faster than the police scanner.
Then the police barely can get it on their phones.
Like for sure, like for real.
Crazy.
It's just wild.
It's crazy. So at the end of the day, we kind of got to start changing our culture.
Yeah,
we have to change our culture. We have to begin to become more positive, but become more proactive and forward movement when it comes down to how we begin to progress in our city as a people, how we begin to, like how we treat each other.
No, for sure.
Overall, you know what I'm saying? Because if we have that type of, let's say, attitude or demeanor, where when we see people, like when we see people trying to do something, instead of us trying to put this magnifying glass over their lives and trying to find out, find the negatives or whatever the case is, we say, let's help lift them up. You know what I'm saying? If you help lift them up. I mean, it's too many. We don't need, first of all, we don't need to be in the barrel anyway. So I don't even like using the crab in the barrel mentality. How, of course, that's how it's been. But overall, man, it's about how do we begin to move forward? Because one thing that I've learned from my position as a city councilman is that, you know, a lot of change is not going to occur from the government. It's not going to occur. You know, yes, there has to be legislation written. What's going on, Aunt? I see you. What's going on, Auntie? Legislation, yes, needs to be written for specific things to, you know, happen. But for the most part, for the things that we can see, like directly, the low hanging fruit is just us changing our attitude towards people, towards ourselves.
For sure.
So yeah, so this is the kind of day we got going on today. So this is really kind of like, I want to have it like a very kind of open dialogue, you know, for just a moment, you know what I mean? And I figure we probably got about a good half hour left that we're gonna just kind of keep it open a little bit.
One thing that just to add to your conversation is that there's a process that I recently just learned about called information paralysis. And what it is sometimes it is too much information that you don't know where to start and to move. And I feel like Niagara Falls can sometimes it's too much information.
Right.
You're throwing too much at me at the same time. Therefore, I don't know how to move forward. We do that with our life sometimes. So much going on that we don't know how to move. And I think that Niagara Falls needs a really evaluation of, like, listen, what's your priority?
Right.
And I say that because, is your family your priority?
Right.
If so, there's some things politically. There's some things that you need changing, and this is the method to change it.
Right.
It's about having a bigger goal, but setting realistic accomplishments to get those things done. This is just something that's being dealt with in my business class that I'm in right now, and I'm like, yo, that can be applied to so many things.
Right.
Because I think that we want this big transformation, and we complain and we talk about it, but we haven't projected the small things that we could do to make this happen.
Right.
Like, oh, you want your city to change, but my question is, what have you done?
Right.
What have you done personally to make this happen? I want my kids to be in better schools. Well, what have you done personally to make this happen? Because a lot of small steps together sound like a strong moving army. Right. But you got to be making strides. We have so many people complaining or quickly
to complain
and not offering a resolve or a solution.
Right.
And some people are talking solutions with no execution.
Right.
And I think that we are in a place where we need execution. And that sounds crazy because I'm talking about us, but that goes even for the government. Some of you are talking great, but where's the execution?
No execution whatsoever.
And even in our communities, I go here all the time. Block clubs, we talking churches, y'all talking good. But where is the execution of what you're talking about? Because you're selling dreams but giving nightmares.
Ooh, did y'all hear that? Wait, say it for the people in the back seat.
So you're selling dreams but giving nightmares.
Man.
Because it's nothing like disappointing somebody who's eager for transition and you sell it to them and they're down for it, but then you don't activate or move on it. So now it becomes a nightmare.
Right.
Because I thought and I felt. So.
And I prepared myself for something that, you know what I'm saying? I mentally prepared myself for something because you can see some people are great painters.
Yes.
Some people will paint a picture and that picture that they paint will be like that. It will captivate you. It will make you feel like, oh my God, I am in for this. Yeah. I got this. But when it comes down to the execution, when it comes down to taking that step, when it comes down to sacrifice, because guess what? Everything that you do that is worth anything in life requires a sacrifice.
And I'll be honest with the conversation because I find myself, I had to check myself, like, Frank, it's time to really execute. I've executed some things and I'm grateful for them. But there's a vision or an idea. There's some things that I have that I want to accomplish, which requires faith and sacrifice. But if I never make the step or the stride, to do it, it is not a realistic. I'd say right now it's a goal, but the execution of it isn't there.
Right.
And for some of us, if you haven't written, I think it was Ezra, I think you said to me, I first heard it. If you don't write it down, it ain't real.
Right.
Like if it's not on paper, and I get it. We can talk from the heart, but every time we talk from the heart, it got a little bit of twist on it.
Right.
A little bit of change at the moment. But when you write that thing on paper,
and you see it.
And it's like, this is what I want to happen. This is what I want to pursue. This is some strategies I'm going to try. And you can measure it.
Right.
I'll say this for somebody real quick. I like it. Some of the things that you're talking about, you can't measure.
Right.
Because you can't measure it, we're not convinced about it.
Right. And you definitely got to be on. I always say this too. This is a big thing right here. For those of you who, and I said this before, for those of you who have whatever it is that you want to do, first and foremost, if you're not making a continual sacrifice for that, then don't expect to win, especially quickly.
Yes.
And anything, a good cake takes quality time, takes quality ingredients. Someone who makes great cookies use the good butter. Some people make, get that distinguished taste. They're not skimping out on certain things. When you skimp out, you can taste it, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, a quality product, a quality idea requires good thought, good time of putting it together, making sure that all of your T's are crossed and all of your I's are dotted. And making sure that you take. So honestly, for those of you who are looking to do something, make sure that you're willing to put that sacrifice in. I'll even say, like at D-Belly Production, anyone that sits with me and Steve, I always tell them you have to be at 200% for me to be at 100%.
Yeah.
That means you have to be twice as committed to your product than I am, because this is your baby. Absolutely. Meaning I don't owe you anything. You're going to come, you're going to buy the studio time, you're going to get some production from us, and we're going to do what we got to do. But when it comes time for you, you got to make sure that on your end, your stuff is put together well.
Matter of fact, low key, that's a side note. This is just a side note to a trigger.
No, you good.
It's definitely that we need a partnership on that level, because just on the strength of having a studio space to execute some things.
Right.
So we'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
In a different form. But truly, and I think that sometimes we expect. So once again, I'm in business class. It's just where my head is that we have assumptions, and our customers have assumptions about what we offer.
Right.
And I'm realizing that just in what I do here, that I've undersold myself, and meaning that you want more out of me because you're not willing to do what's required.
Right.
Yes, I can record. I got you. Say less. But when it comes down to marketing, production, and pushing, that's a whole nother responsibility that comes.
Heavy responsibility
with that. And you're banking on me to do it. But now I feel like you're not invested. You're not sold into your own situation.
Right.
You haven't talked to anybody to get a sponsor. I've told you need sponsors. You haven't made that adjustment.
Right.
And it's like, oh, no, you not sold for your own idea.
Right.
How dare I give 1,000% to produce or push somebody who doesn't believe in themselves? So I understand.
Yeah.
You got to give me. I'm snatching that one.
Yeah.
You got to give me 200%
for me to be at one.
Valid call. Let me know you're serious about
twice as serious, and your priorities has to be twice as great as mine as it pertains to your product.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Same way with restaurants. Same way with anything. I want to be able to, and I was doing that before. I think I'm going to start doing that as well too. But I'm not done engaging the youth, because I need to, because it's a lot that needs to take place. So we're going to talk about that right now too, as well. It's a lot of young people with a lot of ideas, but they need guidance, and instead of fingers being pointed at them, they need somebody to open up their wings and embrace them. Sure. So instead of pointing at them, we need to pull them in and like actually have this idea. What's going on, Mr. Laurie? I know he's on. I see he's on here. Mary, how y'all doing? Listen, yeah, we definitely have to continuously engage them. Again, on my birthday, on the 27th, guess what happened? We launched the first class of the Stanford University uh, artificial intelligence and computer science course. So that was like,
you brought here last week?
yes, sir, yes, sir. So so we that's all squared away. So Jody and Dante, he's another Dante, Richardson and Jody Anderson, they'll be somewhere between either next week or the week after. They'll be on the vault, and we'll be actually having that communication in regarding to making sure that we have let everybody know, because what happens is sometimes in spaces people aren't as let's say, if it doesn't affect their kids directly, or if they don't have an interest, some people kind of try to downplay you know great things that come that could affect other kids.
Sure.
So I'm the advocate. I'm the one that's willing to stand up and stand out and say, hey, at the end of the day, when it comes down to our children and their higher learning and their education, I'm committed to making sure on my end. Now, that's as a city council. That's not even something that I do, because the council doesn't deal with school. However, when it comes down to your networking, you heard me say this often: my network is my net worth. If when it comes down to their learning and their education, if there's something that I could help kind of usher or be somewhat of a vehicle or some type of connectivity to help add extra, we talked about it. So when I heard about it, and when I heard about artificial intelligence and these different tech type situations, I'm like, that's no brainer. Also, they're not, let's see here. So Stanford is not asking Niagara Falls for one dime. They're willing to provide everything that Niagara Falls High School needs for that. That means from the technologies to the laptops and all of that other good stuff. And they're doing it without a cost being incurred from the Niagara Falls City School District at all. And students, I want to say 15 at a time, is able to receive college credits, but not just college credits, but college credits on the Stanford transcript. So right now we have 15 Stanford students in the Niagara Falls High School. Wow. That's big for me. With that being said, that's one of those move in silence, say less type movements for me. Yeah. It's like, so some things that sometimes it may seem like, oh, what Dante doing? Is he a little quiet? No, he ain't quiet because he's asleep or nothing. Well, one, Dante is still, a grown man who has responsibilities, who has, a family, significant other, children, you know what I mean? And so I don't eat, sleep, and breathe, counsel. Yeah. It has just a level of balance. I have to be a councilman. I have to be a father first. I have to be a family man. I have to be someone who fights on behalf of the community. And that's going to be, speaking of, we are in the middle of this campaign. And so what kind of baffles me is that a lot of people that are running, some people I don't even know if they're still running. That's how absent
for sure.
People are. Here's an issue that I may have, and I guess I found myself running back to in this political portion. Issue that I have is if you're running for a political position that's in City Hall, I need to see you at City Hall.
Visible.
If you're running for, okay, so when I say at City Hall, because I don't want people to get it twisted, you have, your county legislator, they pretty much operate their meetings are in like Lockport. Now, you can get engaged with that too for those of you who want to get heavier into the county aspect and see, hold our county officials accountable. Absolutely. I'm talking about city council and I'm talking about mayor. If you're running for a position such as city council, it would behoove you to show up to city council meetings. That's free shadowing. That's free shadowing. We're about to get ready to talk about the budget soon. That's free shadowing. So those of you who are paying attention, this is your city councilman who's not running for anything right now. I still, again, have 2 years left. Free shadowing, free time to a free opportunity that doesn't cost you nothing but a seat to at least have more of a sheer understanding of how city government operates and some of the things that, so you can see from an ocular perspective as just a community resident how things are going, how maybe people are not representing you well, and you can see what not to do when you get in, if you get in. So again, like if I wanted to run a specific machine at a specific space, and that space has every other week open, like pretty much lesson that shows me exactly how that machine works, it would make more sense for me to, man, I'm spending money already. I got yards. I'm spending money on yard signs, on palm cards. I'm up here knocking doors and all of this other stuff. But for me, I always say the greater the title, the greater the servant.
Absolutely.
So when do these people who are running, and I'm not naming any names yet, it's getting real close. I'm not naming any names yet, but the people who are running, what have you stood up for?
Yeah.
This whole, forget this, like, I was pounding podiums years before I ran.
Right.
Forget the years prior to. What are you standing up for now? This year, I had a whole full year of campaigning. I understand you're knocking doors, it's freezing outside, you got to get signatures. I've been through this twice. Got to get signatures, you got to try to, you get the endorsement, worried about the primaries, you're going to, so on and so forth. I get all that. Primaries are over. Y'all had a whole summer.
Unseen.
I've opened my podcast up to everybody who's running. There are 2 people that showed up to in this room for that's running for city council. That would be Unica. She came when she came with Mimi.
Yep.
And that would be our current city councilman, Mr. Vincent Cawley. Those are the only 2. I've made it open now. The only issue is right now to try to schedule something now. It's almost going to seem disingenuous because election is next month. Well, literally about a month or so, a month and a week from now. So for me, I'm kind of like, I feel some kind of way. Let's just put it that way, because absence speaks a lot of volumes. Your silence speaks a lot of volume. When you don't stand for something, and you need to stand publicly. The people that you're representing, I'm speaking a word. The people that you're representing, the people that you're running, you're trying to get in a position. Our mayor, he's not showing up. He's running.
I ain't seen him.
I ain't only time you gonna see. You want me to tell you where you gonna see him? Get you a ribbon, a red ribbon. Put a red ribbon in front of the door.
Have to open it
and a couple of cameras.
No valid. Then I see him passing the check.
That's so you gotta begin to see what we're dealing with, and we end up voting so blind. Voting so blind, man. Voting blind. So, with that being the case, is like, so I call it the circus. This is the circus. Don't get caught up in a lot of what's being said now during campaign season. Most of the time, people are saying things that they don't even have the capacity to provide for you or to do for you, especially when you talk about council. You can't, there's not a councilman that can go and say they're going to come and make A, B, and C, like do something within government. If you're gonna do something, a lot of times you're gonna have to step outside of your governmental role and make some moves happen. But if you're talking about I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna change the structure of city council, I mean, I am very disruptive. So maybe my disruption may have changed, the structure of how things have been done. But I can't say I'm gonna pull up this legislation if you don't have more than 3 or more people. That's gonna actually, it's not gonna happen. So you can't promise as a city councilman or as a mayor either, because the mayor, well, we're supposed to be checks and balances for the mayor.
But now this will put the weight on the people, because if you come to a meeting, you will see how things work. And therefore, when they go to make these promises and allegations, trying to persuade you as if they're running for mayor and can do something mildly, and above all, you need to be able to, what is your measurable goal? How are you looking to accomplish what you're saying?
Right.
Don't feed me a hill of beans.
Right.
And you don't have a strategy or a plan to make this happen and come alive. Because what I'm stuttering now, I'm a little frustrated.
Go ahead. It's all good.
I get frustrated when, watch my words, when the politicians, when the community, and when the church begin to sell ideas and concepts, and which are compelling in delivery, compelling with the noise, compelling. It sounds good, it looks good, but at the end of the day, the outcome isn't what you said.
Right.
Therefore, now you cause disappointment. Now I lack trust in everything that you're saying.
Right.
So it's time to be, I use the word transparent, but it's time to be honest and let people know this is what it's going to take.
Right. Right.
And if they're not willing to put in that energy to what it's going to take, have a seat somewhere else and be an activist.
Right. Right.
Be an activist and be that. If you're not going to, and if you're not willing to occupy the seat or the place and be present, and understand that it comes with friction. It comes with sacrifice.
Right.
It comes with frustration. It comes with the territory. But if you promising stuff out here,
right,
you got to deliver.
Better deliver.
But my people who are listening from Jordan Gardens, Packard to have-nots, East Side, North Side, y'all got to come to the table and be put the pressure on as well.
Apply pressure.
Some of y'all complaining but not willing to put in the pressure. Yeah, it's gonna cut into your dinner time.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna cut into but what's the objective overall? It's gonna cut into it. But if you're not willing to get out here, you're gonna stay right where you at, and you'll be 10 years down the line still talking
saying
about
the same thing
your mama said and your grandmama says. They've been saying. I get it, but you got to change it. You got to rearrange it. And if you're not gonna do that at this point, what we talking for? In all honesty.
Yeah, that's an absolute
that's a heavy
fact.
load.
That's an absolute fact. The true story is this: if you're change, I said this before, change requires change, and if you want change, you have to begin to be the change that you wish to see. One of the biggest things is learning how to again take the first step. And what does that first step mean? I'm not talking about something that you're used to doing, because apparently whatever it is that you're used to doing isn't quite working. The first step really is stepping outside of your comfort zone.
That's real. That's real.
Your comfort zone is what kind of gotten us where we are today. um, our comfort zones from our generation to my generation, millennials, baby boomers. There's everybody has their own comfort zone.
And I'm going to say something that people may not like. Once again, I don't mind. We have all this complaint behind closed doors, but we get in front of people and we start putting on face for them. Because I'm not gonna call nobody
Speak
out.
Speak
but
it.
We got putting on face for them. So you're at home complaining about Niagara Falls. You're at home talking about these things that are not right. We get in their face and want to smile and cheese and have the photo op and look like, oh my God, look here. Oh, listen, I'm gonna say this. I mean, no disrespect to anybody directly, but when I say this, listen, what good is the day if every other day is still trash?
Right.
I'm gonna say, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna say it right now.
Come on,
what you're not going to do is try to pacify us.
Come on.
Because you gave us a day after. I just realized that this not just City of Niagara Falls, but they passing out days like it ain't no tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here a day.
Come on.
Here's a day. Here's a day.
Yep.
A day alone is not enough to change the outcome for my family.
Come on.
I'm grateful for a street name changing. I'm grateful for it. Not knocking that. But after the name is changed. What about the quality that we're driving on?
Quality of life.
What about the quality for my children? What they about to come into in the next 10 years? What's the plan for them?
Come through, man. Come through.
Because if there's not, like we always say, if there's nothing for my children to advance into or to grow, and we're leaving, we're out of here.
That's it.
If there's no program or there's no place that's going to get my children to succeed, I'm out of here.
Done deal.
Because I'm not about to sit here and try to beat a dead horse. I'm over beating it. Get up and walk.
Right.
Get up, wake up, and make these adjustments. But for real, because if you say, "Oh, my family first, their priority," are they really?
Right. What are you doing? What tangible steps are you taking to show them? Because that's the thing about it. Because then when you get mad when the kids feel like you failed them, guess what? You have. And it's okay. You're not a fail or a failure. You've just failed in a specific area. The best way to beat a failure is to learn from the mistake.
Absolutely.
That's the best way to beat it. How do I beat it? Okay, man, I screwed up on this part.
Yeah.
However, I've learned that I maybe should have taken this route, and I didn't. Maybe my pride got in the way. So because my pride got in the way, I felt some kind of way about it. I didn't do what I knew in my heart to do. I knew what I should have done, but I didn't. So I failed them, and it's okay. Now I just have to make sure that from this point on, that it's all about this point on. That's the only thing that's going to really, like, okay, I'm never going to cry over spilled milk. It happened. Now I got to make sure, what is it that every issue, every situation that takes place in life has a lesson that's attached to it. Every unlearned lesson is bound to be repeated. Now that's probably for me, that's going to be my closing statement as of today, as far as so I'm not going to go into any heavy, deep, theological moment. I'm going to tell you that every unlearned lesson, and that's in any situation, regardless, relationships, your life, you know what I'm saying, your passion, the things that you do, ventures, business ventures, all of that, any unlearned lesson is bound to be repeated. So if you go through something right now and you don't learn the lesson from what it is that you went through, it's a greater chance that you're going to go through that same thing again. If you have a pitfall, if I had a business, so we're talking about businesses, if I had a business and I didn't do what it is that I needed to do to make sure that everything was that I had, needed for the business to be success, if I didn't make sure that all of that was in place and my business flunked, and I went and thought of a whole nother genius idea for another business and did it the exact same way that I.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you're going to have to swallow your pride.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to revamp, and you're going to have some hard conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the need to readjust may be a challenge to those who are apart and attached.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to succeed, and sometimes we're winging it, we're trying to figure it out.
Right.
Once you become into information that's going to help you be successful, whatever you've done in the past, you got to revamp that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to change it, because if not, you're going to fail.
Period.
The end thereof is going to be, it doesn't exist, because somewhere along the way, and I'll say this again, in business, we don't have forums
Mm-hmm.
that teach us consistently how to manage business.
Right.
I'm currently in a class in Buffalo, taking an IC success class that is helping me to understand entrepreneurship, because faith is great. I love faith. Faith got it here. But now to make it successful, I got to make some major adjustments, and it starts with yourself. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
You don't understand that the reflection of your business is the reflection of you.
Right.
The customer doesn't see it that way, but that's just the reality of what it is. What are you going through?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at? What is happening in your world?
Right.
So that you can efficiently strive in business. And I feel like that platform in here, I think I shout out to Ibero business class, helps you with the business model canvas. But they teach you the canvas, but they don't show you the part, how important you are to the canvas.
Right. Wow.
The class that I'm in now is like, listen, we can talk all day about business and accounting and all that, but if you're not good, and if you're not okay, this ain't gonna work.
Right.
It's gonna bring you to the ground. So
that's some real talk right there. So listen, we've been talking some nice rich stuff. I would definitely share this if I were you guys, because really on the real, we want to make sure that the content that we bring to the table is not just, we're not here to appease someone's emotions. We're not here to pacify, the comfortable. I'm the agitator of the comfortable, and I'm the comforter of the agitated. I do believe that, I try to understand from that perspective, because the minute we get comfortable, the minute things stop, the minute things like our surroundings and our area becomes irrelevant. So with that being said, listen, today is going to be a great day. Today is a great day. My life is great. Our life is great. This is your boy, Donta, a.k.a. D Belly, a.k.a. your city councilman, a.k.a. Tank. And I'm bidding you a good day, good weekend. I want you to enjoy yourself. Enjoy the sun. It's supposed to be good and nice like the whole week. And I'm talking about up to the 80s. So this little sweatshirt that I got on right now is going to come off, this little hoodie. And we're going to put on some t-shirts. I ain't going to play around, because that's good flu weather. Good flu weather. All right. So check you guys later. Next week, Friday, 5 p.m. Beat me here. Don't meet me here, all right? Catch y'all later. Peace.